What if this was someone in your family that had a chronic illness that they could not get away from?
Millions of Americans live with a disease that has no cure.
I was diagnosed with a rare form of sarcoma. The most immediate findings indicated that I should lose my leg. It ended up taking 4 clinical trials in 25 years to get me to this point.
Cures are within reach if we invest in funding for life-saving medical research that's needed to find them.
Even if they're unsuccessful in my treatment, that they will have learned from my treatment that will be able to allow others to stand on my shoulders to be able to be helped.
Join the fight for cures. Tell your elected representatives to support American medical research. Visit unitedforcures.org/action to send a letter today. Paid for by United for Cures Action.
And we are live in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Happy weekend, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vanessa the Vivacious podcast. In recent time, we discussed coming back and making sure that we record episodes, so that's what we are doing here today. Luckily, I am super, super grateful to be employed for other production and other podcasts as well. It's been amazing hosting Are You Happy podcast. If you're not familiar with Are You Happy, you most definitely need to be, because it is so enriching and feeding to the soul. And I'm not saying that because I'm a part of it. I'm saying that because as a viewer, as a volunteer interviewer in the beginning, and now as managing director for Are You Happy, in addition to working with the other side of Happy Productions, it's been amazing. And I cannot tell you enough how awesome it has been. But hosting Are You Happy podcast has been a true joy, a true blessing, and meeting everyone that I get to meet, interviewing strangers, but also interviewing business people as well. We're talking CEOs, we're talking captains of industry, we're talking amazing business entrepreneurs, people that run production houses, filmmakers, directors, editors, all of that sort. It's been epic. It's been so epic to meet these people and to share their experiences, not just about business, but about personal life. Personal life is so important. And honestly, personally, and from every single person that I've interviewed when it comes to professionals in the production industry, it's been a very common occurrence that they draw on personal experience. Personal experience. Let that sink in. Personal experience is everything. Personal experience is what drives your creativity. It's what gives you what you need to press the gas and really create something beautiful and authentic and true to yourself. Personal experience. So it behooves us to go and take a look at ourselves and to, have that moment that we need to really go through our past and our current experiences and dive deep, because the only way that you can get through it is if you take some time and break it down to yourself. Think about it. Maybe not stay in it too long if it's something super difficult, because it's very easy to get stuck if you dwell a little too long. But reflective, thinking of it on a more, concrete level where you can dissect and evaluate, find out what it was you were thinking or feeling during that time, but then also take a look at the other side. If it's something bad or something that's very sad, then you can see where you are now and then measure that against that previous experience. Hopefully you're in a better place, but if you're not in a better place, just look at the fact that you're still here. You are still part of this race. It doesn't matter if it's a rat race or the human race, you're part of it. And you have a purpose. So don't forget that. Make sure that you look inward and take time with yourself, because if you take that time with yourself, then you're going to grow, you're going to progress forward, and you're going to have a better sense of awareness. So be sure that you do this on the daily, or every week. Whatever it is that you can fit in, do it, because it will enrich you so much. But then also it enriches your work. If you're in art, if you're in a creative work, if you're in film or video or audio or anything having to do creative, music, art, anything at all, we all draw on personal experience, and it shows. It shows in all of the work that we produce. It shows in everything that we speak of when we speak of our work, but also when you look at the person. If you look at the person, the artist, when they're speaking in video or in an interview, their personal experience, it just seeps from their pores, you know? You can see it in their faces, you can hear it in their voices, but above all, what they produce, what they put together in their work form, you see it there. You see it, you hear it, you feel it. So we're all connected. All of our experiences are powerful and very moving in some respect. And if it's not moving or powerful to you, I guarantee you 10 out of 10, it's definitely that to someone else. So continue creating if you feel like you're not reaching the audience level or the notoriety level that you're wanting to. You know, it either happens or it doesn't, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that you get to explore and create as you please. I had a chance to meet a wonderful individual on Wisdom app, which is this really nifty app that if you're a podcaster or just a person that likes to talk and connect with people, you can download Wisdom app and join it and then interact with people in the form of questions, AMA style, ask me anything. And you can answer their questions. They can answer yours. They can follow you. You can follow them. But the coolest thing is that it's not driven to just having tons and tons of followers. Unlike certain platforms where you can only do special things like go live if you have 1,000+ followers, you can actually go live from day one. And it's so great. It's so nice to have that stage and have the ability to just stand on your virtual soapbox, if you will, and just say whatever it is that you want to say. So I love it. I hope you love it. Download it. And then it really is awesome because it produces these cute little audiograms that you can upload to social, that you can post anywhere. If you work in podcast work, you know that audiograms sometimes can take a minute. If you don't have your editors and it's just you, sometimes it takes away from the creative process because all you want to do is continue recording and talking to people. But then you have to stop, edit, and then go and create these lovely little audiograms to go and promote your episode. And sometimes that can take time. Yes, there are cookie cutter apps out there that can help you do that, but I am a meat and potatoes person and a foundations person in the sense that I love working with it firsthand in the software. I do not like the cookie cutter style where it's like, you know, you just plug in the file, a template comes up and it just like bangs out this really cute, awesome thing. Albeit they are cute and awesome, but it's like it takes away from the hard work and effort and creative effort that you put into that audiogram or video trailer, promo, whatever it is that you do. So I'm sorry, that was a tangent. I have a strong feeling towards certain apps, and I'm not going to name them, but when it comes to putting together the podcast and putting together episodes, I like to get into the software and make adjustments, add filters, or do whatever effects I need to do, and then bang out this amazing episode, hoping, of course, that all of our levels are always correct, because audio, you have to have good levels, you have to have a good microphone, you have to have a good setup, foundations. You have to have that there. But the cool thing is that you don't have to go to school if you don't want to for audio. You can easily learn it online on YouTube, which is fabulous. Wasn't always the case, but now it is, and it's great, right? So software wise, there's so many options. A lot of professionals use Pro Tools, Logic, all that stuff. But personally, I actually don't mind using some more basics like Adobe Audition, which has a lot of potential to really expand on your podcast as far as special effects, and it's really easy for you to go in and edit. So I do recommend Adobe Audition. I do recommend a lot of Adobe software because it allows you to get really creative and churn things out really fast, but you still have control. So whereas a lot of apps out there are really quick to push something out with a template, Adobe lets you create from the ground up, but you still have that that feasibility function from a creative perspective where you can still control a ton and control the ground up, the foundation up, but it's still user friendly. So that's what I'm about. If it's user friendly, if it's something that I can manipulate from the ground up, then that's what I want. And I have found that in all of Adobe software suite. I actually used to not like Adobe back in the day. I used to be anti-Adobe because it looked like it just was so easy for people to produce this amazing stuff. And so I didn't like it, but little did I know that it wasn't just that it was easy, because it wasn't. It's not easy all the time. But what is cool is that their work was so flawless and it was so nice looking that I thought that it had to be some kind of easy cookie cutter thing, but it wasn't. So then when I started using Adobe and going to a local college and getting more and more in depth into Adobe products and suite, I found that it was more complex than I thought, but then there were options out there for it to be easy and quick, but then there are other options where you can really get down deep. You can create things from beginning to finish, and it just has amazing opportunities. And then of course you have all the other artists all over the world who are contributing filters and special effects and building all these cool things. So I think Adobe has an amazing community when it comes to people collaborating and offering up different filters or different tools. Like for instance, Adobe Lightroom. Adobe Lightroom, you can go on your mobile app and you can see lots of cool preset filters that are made by other creators around the world. And that's really cool. And then, of course, they have their library similar to other companies like Envato Elements and music companies like Epidemic Sound. So all of these companies that do some really cool stuff with particular libraries. And then now you see that in Adobe as well. So that's super handy that they're working with all of these companies. Now, this isn't a podcast just about Adobe, so don't worry. I just kind of went on that tangent because I'm looking at my pass from the last conference. I actually went this year. It's so exciting. The last couple of years have been online because of the pandemic. And then I remember talking to someone and she was like, you need to go to this thing. It's like unlike anything. And I'm so glad that I went this year because it was amazing. I spent a week in Los Angeles, met so many people, went to all the conferences and took so many classes and heard from the horse's mouth from firsthand from the CEO and CFO and a bunch of other amazing famous people, but also creatives, and the little classes that they give. There's labs and there's lectures, and they're all given by people that are like first rate. So it was just epic. And then like the creative energy that you feel in the conference, to be surrounded by tons of different creative people, whether they're graphic designers, filmmakers, 3D designers, analytic marketing reps, so many various fields that are represented at Adobe Creative Conference for Adobe Max. And I highly recommend it if you've never been. Oh my God, I'm going next year. I'm never leaving. And then I learned about Adobe Jesus, who I still need to find him. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission, people. Help me out. If you know who Adobe Jesus is, find him and get him to me, because we need to interview Adobe Jesus. He is like one of the hugest like Adobe evangelists that there is. And then I think he spoke at this conference this year too. And he was very cool. I dig the vibe. But I need to find Adobe Jesus. So help me find Adobe Jesus. Shout out to everyone listening from all over the world. We have listeners from all over, and I'm so excited about that. In a second here, we're going to go into detail about a film that I'm working on. So super excited to tell you guys about that. I haven't really discussed it much, but the people that I have pitched it to are super into it. And then I've done a small portion of it, or not really small, but I've done whatever the required length is for film festival submission, but I don't feel like it's enough. I feel like a lot of it needs to be refilmed and a lot of the story needs to be added on to. So I will be doing that this year, and hopefully I can finish it up and get it submitted to festivals and figure out where we're going with it. But I just am in love with the story, so I'm going to tell you about that here in a second.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Shoe shopping should be fun and full of surprises. DSW has never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices. From sneakers to boots and everything in between, DSW makes it easy to discover the styles you love, and maybe even a few you didn't expect. Whether you're shopping in store or online, you'll always find fresh looks at prices that make sense. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
All right. So we've had a moment to kind of get seated, get our snacks ready, get ready for the story. It's a cool story. So back when I was in school, which is not that long ago, actually. Well, let me backtrack that. Some of you have heard on a previous episode or 2 or 3 or 4, because I talk about it all the time because I'm still mad about it. But years back, many moons back, I went to school as a first-generation college student at a private university, Hispanic, first generation. It was a very big deal for me and family. And then I get there only to find out that I was only recruited as a statistic, to fill the quota. But then I was told, oh, your financial package is actually in quarters and you have to come up with the other 75%. And so I was taken aback at the second year mark. I couldn't stay there anymore. I had 2 work study jobs to just be there and afford to eat. And what I tell people is that, I could barely afford to put food on my cardboard table because I couldn't even afford furniture. I was living in student housing and I still couldn't afford it. They made you have like over $1,000 meal plans, and it was just ridiculous. And I wanted more than anything to attend class with my fellow classmates, but I couldn't. I didn't have the money to freaking exist. So I had to work 2 work study jobs. And then the irony was that one of my work study jobs was actually an advisor, a college advisor to seniors of said university on how to graduate. How messed up is that? I'm a freshman that can't even go to class because I'm working so much just to afford to live. But then I'm telling you, Bill Anderson, 4th year, getting ready to graduate, how to stay on top of your stuff. Like, what is that? That's just totally messed up. But, I earned some decent money from it because it was a government type work study job. So that was great, but it did not help me any. And unfortunately, the people there didn't help me either. So a lot of things happened that caused me to need to exit early, that caused that early exit. And so when I left, I was very sad, very upset, very, very upset. And I didn't know what to do. I went home. I was, very discouraged with media and film and everything. And I didn't want to touch it because I was so ashamed. But cut to me moving to Seattle, Washington to work for a nonprofit because I've always had a servant's heart. I've always had the need, the desire to serve people, to serve other people and to help them, to help make them happy and feel good, because that's just been my life's mission, is to help people any which way that I can, whether it's inspiration or by hand. I've just always wanted to serve others, but also live a creative life as well. So I moved to Seattle to work with a nonprofit to teach high school kids to be well-rounded in terms of community service. And I thought that was very beneficial to teach tomorrow's youth, right? So I did that for a while, and then eventually came back to Texas. There's a whole story around that, but I came back, and then it wasn't until I want to say 2012 or 2013, but it's probably really like 2014 maybe, that I actually started recording a podcast, this podcast show, which has been around forever, but I haven't recorded many episodes. You'll also find that as you go back to the earlier episodes, the audio quality isn't there, but that's because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford awesome stuff. I had like this little stick microphone that looked like a Q-tip with a 3.5 jack on the bottom, and it plugged right into the computer. And so it was trash. It was total trash. This is before most people knew about the audio interface that was necessary, before we knew about our digital software and what was available to recording. But as you all know, equipment is expensive. It's ridiculously, prohibitively expensive. I would say that that's one of the hugest blocks as well, is that equipment is so darn expensive that all the people that could possibly be creative sometimes are not getting the chance because the equipment is so gosh darn expensive. So that's actually a YouTube channel that I want to do down the line, is testing out really cheap gear so that way everyone can have access to affordable gear and be able to create whatever the hell they want. So that being said, I'm sorry, I kind of went off again on a tangent, but that's just who we are. It's what we do. So anyway, all that to say, I had to leave the school. They had my transcript held hostage, okay? Meaning that I owed the school money, so they would not give me my transcript, which meant I could not transfer to another school. Well, it took me about 15 to 17 years in order to get back to school, to be able to afford to get my transcript, or to have something happen in life to be able to give me money to afford getting my transcript broken free. And then the first thing I did with that transcript, first thing I did once I paid that debt, I enrolled in a community college that seriously crafted everything behind how awesome, I guess, excuse me, that's kind of like broken English, but I don't care right now. It's early and I've been awake since 3 a.m. with people on the phone or on Zoom in London. So anyway, yeah, so me going back to school 15 plus years later, it was a journey, and that's on other episodes too. But ultimately, I bring that up just to say that education that I got there that was ridiculously cheap and from a local college level was probably the best education that I've ever had in terms of production, TV, film, studio, everything. It was amazing. And I credit those guys. I will credit those guys for the rest of my life as far as everything amazing that I do. From the day that I enrolled, I was able to get an internship, or I felt comfortable to even ask for an internship on my own from like a month into school. And I had that confidence, all the love of creativity and the confidence that's necessary to go out and conquer the world. All of that, I got that back in that first month of class. And it only cost me like not even a couple $100, or not even that, because, you know, government grant, hey. So after this month, couple semesters in, I say, you know what, I'm ready to start my own production company, which is what we have now, Vanessa the Vivacious Productions, and I do freelance and so forth. Worked with a whole bunch of different companies, but right now I work with my most favorite one of all time, which is Happy Productions and Are You Happy? So much work that I get to do with them. It's amazing, and I love every single minute of it. But ultimately, that's where it all rooted, was me opening up my company and then deciding to freelance with whoever the heck I wanted to. I remember working in insurance, and I was working in an office. I've done retail. I've done it all. Waitressing. I've done all of it, but then nothing felt right. I felt like an alien. And so when I discovered that this is where I was supposed to be, it was the happiest moment that I could ever imagine. And this is where we are. And I'm never going back to that other stuff. Nope. Can't make me. Moving on to our story, the school preface had a purpose. I started a project in a workshop class where our job was solely to create this film and to build it start to finish, casting, producing, writing, everything. And I was so in love with the story that I decided to keep going after I had to withdraw from school for production reasons. I needed to be on the jobs and I couldn't be in class as often, so I took a break. But this particular film is so important to me, and it needs to be finished and be submitted to festivals so people can hear this amazing story. So what is the story? The story is a young girl who's a teenager, and her whole life she has danced. She's a ballerina dancer, and she dances beautifully. She has such passion, and she's an amazing human being inside and out. But initially I thought, okay, well, I'm just basically documenting this girl's life as a dancer. It'll be great. Yeah. I mean, we watch those shows on Netflix, the cheerleader shows and all that stuff. But little did I know that I was going to be told about this amazing story of how when she was young, she was very sick and no one knew what it was. And then she ended up having to face a brain tumor, and then physical therapy, and then dance was that physical therapy. And she just, ran with it and had so much experience after that in dance class and teachers and moving for that, and her family just being so supportive. And then, we come to this current day where she's still dancing and living with such life, even though there are markers for what will potentially take away everything. So what she has now, could end her dancing forever. It could render her body, I guess, she basically, she won't be able to dance, right? So what do you do when you spend your whole life dancing and you're just so in love with that one thing, and then it's no longer an option? So the story is going through all of that, and then also finding out what it is that she wants to do with the rest of her life, because she's 18 now and she's on the precipice of the future. And so how do you decide, how do you even think or even begin to approach that? It's such a broad subject, so much to touch on, so much to go through in this journey with her. And it's just a story that you just want to see and be there with her. And her spirit is immense. You guys will seriously love her, but we're working on that. Technically it's post-production right now, but really we have to go back and reshoot some things, a lot of things actually, and then add on. So it'll probably be some more time, but this is a project, or I'm sorry, it's a film. It's a documentary called I Am Kate. If you go to my socials, you can see the movie poster for it. It's I Am Kate. My social, is Vanessa the Vivacious. So you'll find me on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, but it's Vanessa the Vivacious. And you can see a movie poster that's on Instagram right now. But we will be working on that continuously throughout this year. And then hopefully, by next year, it'll be ready to go, or sooner. Who knows? The universe moves in mysterious ways. So usually when you're in production, if you find the right people and everybody's down to do it, then you get it done. And that's how we do, exactly how we do. There's this really awesome but it's a really awesome movie scene in the movie Thank You for Smoking, where Aaron Eckhart's character is talking to a movie producer who is, I think he's in LA, but he operates on so many different time zones because of the production work. And his response is like the most funniest thing I've ever heard, but it encapsulates exactly what I do, because I'll take calls in London time. I'll take calls in US time. I'll work with people in Eastern Europe time. I'll work with people in Pacific Standard. So I'm in all these time zones all the time doing all kinds of projects. And it's just, I love it. I thrive. I freaking love all of the pandemonium, like the craziness. I love the craziness. It's amazing. So as long as I can roll like this, take care of myself as well, and just kind of be like a powerhouse of creativity, I'm down. Have you ever seen Steve Aoki? Like that man, he is a powerhouse. Like that's my twin right there. I am such a powerhouse like that guy. And so for a long time, I thought that I was like just like this alien being, like as if I could not be the powerhouse that I want to be, or that everyone, why was everyone looking at me funny and wondering why I'm doing so much at one time? And I felt weird for it, but now I don't. I saw him and I saw how he was and all the things that he does. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm not weird. And then being able to work with amazing creative folks every day at Happy Productions, I find that I'm surrounded by so many creative people. And it's such an amazing feeling to not feel alone after feeling alone for so many years. So I hope that you guys have that same feeling and experience, and that you meet your people, you meet your besties who just get you in and out. And mind you, the people that I work with are not my besties per se. They're like a family, but we don't go have drinks after work partially because we're all in different time zones almost, but we do meet, and hopefully we all get to venture to the same location and have a big old party once we have time for that. Or maybe when the documentary is done for Are You Happy? That would be amazing. But ultimately, God, it's the best life right now. And I just want to keep on living it and doing the most I possibly can. I hope that you guys get to do the same as well. And this will be a very short episode. Eventually, we're going to get toward where we have guests on the show. But as of right now, it's just me currently because I'm just in a whole lot of production right now. So I want to make sure that I put my time, I guess that I structure my time, because I'm a very non-structured person and I thrive in chaos. You should see my podcast lineups. There isn't one. Unless I have a crazy VIP guest, then I will form a outline, but normally I don't. That might be why I'm successful at things that I do, is because I thrive on chaos and I love challenges. So anything that I can do, I will do it with 1,000%, and then hopefully I'll knock it out. But if not, then I will do at my best. I will do my best. And my struggle, if you want to know what my struggle is right now, my struggle is asking for help. I've done everything alone for so long that I don't really ask for help. And in production, you need help. So hopefully I can hone in on asking for help, and that would be amazing. But this has been a rambling an update for the film I Am Kate by Vanessa the Vivacious. I hope you have the best weekend. And as I tell everyone that I work with on other productions, I hope that you have the best weekend of your life. And don't forget to be vivacious. Catch catch more Vanessa the Vivacious on social with Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and more. Vanessa the Vivacious on TikTok is at Vanessa the Vivacious. Same for Instagram. For Facebook, it's Vanessa the Vivacious Productions. And then our website, VanessaTheVivacious.com. Be sure to join us for our next episode whenever that's available, but also be sure to catch Are You Happy podcast on a weekly basis, available on all podcast platforms. And then be sure to check out Are You Happy, the docuseries and the documentary. Are You Happy is Are You Happy with 3 P's on TikTok, all spelled out. And then Are You Happy Official on Instagram. And the podcast is everywhere. So don't forget to check all of that out. Follow it, love it, be on the journey, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're an HVAC technician and a call comes in, Grainger knows that you need a partner that helps you find the right product, fast and hassle-free. And you know that when the first problem of the day is a clanking blower motor, there's no need to break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product details, you're confident you'll soon have everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.